Hello and welcome to Songs of Praise on this fourth Sunday of Lent, traditionally Mothering Sunday. A chance for us to thank mums for all they do for us throughout the year. And of course we grandmums are mums too. So today I'm going to be meeting a couple of very inspirational grandmas who help to take care of their grandchildren when their own parents can't.
My children do what they can to support me, so why wouldn't I do what I can to support them?
I'm in North Yorkshire to meet a mother enduring every parent's nightmare. 7 years ago, Claudia Lawrence disappeared from her home in York.
I'll never give up hope that one day I'm going to see her again. Never.
And Scottish worship leader Grace Agbana reveals how she drew on strength from her church in her difficult quest to become a mother.
I just believe that if God's people would just pray for us, it will come to pass.
And there'll be a special performance from Grace later on in the programme, all part of today's mix of music from across the UK. And we start in Sale in Cheshire with a rousing rendition of a modern favourite. Aren't these lovely? A perfect way to let our mums know how much they mean to us on their special day. But you know, there'll be thousands of children who are giving bunches of flowers like this, not just to their mums, but to their grandmums too, because for a whole variety of reasons, there are more and more grandmas who are stepping in to look after their children's children.
Come and show me how to climb up.
At 61, Sharon Peake still takes on a gruelling daily schedule looking after her two grandchildren, 6-year-old Leon and Holly, who's 4. I'm catching up with Sharon and recently retired husband Gordon in the middle of another hectic day.
Well done, that's lovely. Well done.
He loves that, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah, your grandchild, but you used to bring your own children here,
I
didn't
did,
you?
yes.
How many years ago was that?
Oh dear. Over 30.
But now you look after your two grandchildren.
Yes.
And how many hours a day do you do that?
Well, they arrive between 7 and 7:30 in the morning. Leon goes to school at 9. We have Holly till midday, and then from 3:30.
Goodness, that's quite
Till
a
about
routine, isn't
5:30
it?
when Daddy picks them up.
So why do you do this?
Because our children needed our help. There's not a better reason as to for doing anything. If your children need you, you do what you can to support them.
And Mum and Dad are busy working?
Mum and Dad are busy working.
Back home, there's no let-up with Sharon's daily routine. What is it, buttered hot?
Oh, yes, please. Just a moment, darling. We'd better get this buttered. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do that, shall I? Right. Isn't this the time when you've retired and you should be able to put your feet up, though,
You'd
Sharon?
think, wouldn't you?
Why do you do this then? Because it's obviously hard work, but is it a labour of love?
Well, yes. God asked, you know, we love each other. God said to love each other, didn't he? And I love my children. My children love me. I love my grandchildren. My children do what they can to support me, so why wouldn't I do what I can to support them?
How does your faith fit in, especially with all of this?
I mean, it's had its bashes. For example, when I was ill a few years ago, and I couldn't have prayed. I was in no fit state to. And actually, he helped. He'd just been born. And on one occasion, his mummy came round and she let me push him into the village. And my mother said to me afterwards, do you realise what she's just done for you? She said, she's just trusted you with the most precious thing in her life. And that helped. It helped a great deal. Here we go. Right.
Along with looking after her grandchildren at home, Sharon also gets them involved in her commitments at church.
Because it's Lent, we've been looking at the creation story and creating a collage, and Holly's been helping me put things onto the board because it's taken us quite a few weeks to put all this together. Is that okay? Yeah. Well done.
Once back home, there's just enough time for Sharon to do some homework with Leon in the kitchen.
On the evening of July the 25th, 1956.
Good boy.
Whilst Gordon keeps Holly amused until Dad comes to pick them up. So at 5:30, when Daddy comes to collect them and the little dears go home, what do you do then?
Well, before they go home, we have the daddy, daddy, daddy bit. And eventually, they do go out to the door, wave them goodbye, and then we like to just sit down for a few minutes until tomorrow at 7 o'clock when the alarm goes off.
And you start all over again.
That's right.
For many, Mothering Sunday is a happy time with children giving thanks to their mums. But for some it can be a time of sadness. The worst nightmare for any parent is if their child simply vanishes. And that has been the stark reality of life for Joan Lawrence for nearly 7 years since her daughter Claudia mysteriously disappeared. Sally has been to meet her to find out how she's coping.
35-year-old Claudia Lawrence has been described today as a lovely girl who has no worries and many friends. Police say her disappearance is completely and utterly out of character.
It's now almost exactly 7 years since Claudia disappeared. She lived near the University of York, where she worked as a chef. But she grew up here in Malton in North Yorkshire, where her mother Joan still lives.
Joan, why have you brought me here?
Because this was so much of Claudia's life. Having 2 daughters, I always hoped one of them would be into the ballet, things like that, but they were very much into horses and animals from as long as I can remember.
Tell me about her personality.
Very kind, very caring. She had a wonderful sense of humour even when she was little, but very infectious. The last telephone call was on the night before she disappeared, and also we had a long talk in the afternoon before she disappeared.
Do you find yourself going over every detail of that last conversation?
Yes. Was there something I missed all the time? And she just seemed so normal and jolly, and said she was going to bed early because she had to be up early.
But Claudia never arrived in work the next day. Despite intensive investigations that are still going on, to date no one has been charged in connection with her disappearance. For Joan, it means living every day with the agony of not knowing what happened to her daughter.
When Claudia first disappeared, I couldn't come to this church for a long time. I could see her at the crib services. When she was confirmed, there's so much of her life was involved in this church.
Joan, how is it that you've been able to keep going these 7 years? What is it that sustains you?
There's something inside me that seems to keep it all together. You have your children and you love them, you nurture them, and you want to keep them safe. You want to be there for them. And the devastation of this is the nightmare of this. Yet there's just that flicker of hope that seems to come through that just keeps me here, keeps me going.